Yo, welcome to Heart of Sports. It's me, I'm back, Hart, PapaJo. Here we are, y'all, going into Game 3, tied 1-1. And I cannot explain to you how happy I am to see good, pure basketball at its finest, adjustments at an elite level, superstarring. You don't see anybody that you're wishing you had more out of consistently. Maybe last night you could look at one or two players from the Nuggets, and then in game one you could look at one or two players from the Heat. But by and large, everybody's coming to play in this great basketball. PapaJo, we're going to start with you. I want to get your initial thoughts. Game 2. How did it all go down, and how do you see it translating going into Game 3 and the rest of the series?
Well, I thought it was a number of things. I think the Heat were rested. I think that extra day really did some good. Playing every other day and all that stuff like that for the first, 3, getting out of the Eastern Conference and stuff like that was maybe a little rough on them. And then traveling and then hitting the altitude at the same time, I think that was a little rough on them, even though they didn't get blown out, but they got handily defeated in Game 1. But I think that extra day of rest, they came out like they were rested and ready to battle.
Yeah.
And hit Denver in the mouth early. Strus came out and he over 10 what? He came out and hit 4 in the first quarter. Let them know I'm here. We're not having a repeat performance. They made the adjustments. And I guess it's when you talk about chess matches between coaches, it seemed like they were kind of waiting, like everybody said, they were kind of waiting to show hand, but they found out that they actually couldn't. So Spo did what I thought he was going to do and put Kevin Love in the game. And that completely took Aaron Gordon out.
Not even just in the game, bro. In the starting lineup. That was
that's what I mean. He put him in the starting lineup, which was good because Aaron Gordon established them early.
Yeah.
So when Kevin Love being in that starting lineup, you saw the difference because Aaron Gordon was taken out. He was a non-factor that game. You know what I'm saying? He got a couple, back cuts or whatever the case may be, but what he did in the first game, the levels were night and day, you know what I'm saying, between what he could do in the first game and what he could do in the second game. And it started, it allowed Miami to really get their offense going. The confidence was there and things like that. So they were in the game. Now, with that being said, Denver is one of the most consistent teams in the NBA, and they have been all year long and in the playoffs. They have been, this is where we are, this is how we go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So Miami came out good, but Denver was like, okay, but can you keep this up for 48?
Right.
Because, Denver came back, and then next thing you know, they were up 15.
Right.
And they came back quick. And then next thing you know, we got a ball game on our hands, and now Miami's back. Like, can you bring that back up? Can you put that back? What you did.
0-2 is like monumental, bro. I'm telling you,
right?
Boys, bro. You could try to find out that 0-2 if you want to. It ain't what you want.
Yeah. So they came back with a vengeance, and but Miami battled. It was the second unit. I'm not going on with that. That second unit got us some issues because when they came back to 15 run, the run that they had, Joker was on the bench.
Those non-Joker minutes, we talked about it before the series. Those are going to be like
that
y'all.
Was big. That second unit.
Role players like Aaron Gordon, like y'all said, and Bruce Brown, like they got to step up in those non-Jokic minutes, and it showed bad.
Yeah. They really their second unit came out bombing. They played no games with Miami, and that's where you can start to see the chess match because Spo didn't make any changes. He didn't put Jimmy in when Joker was out or anything like that. They just kept it going and they weathered the storm. Knocked it down to what, 8 at halftime or 8 in the third quarter. It was 15 at halftime. By the fourth quarter, they were up by 8. So they did battle in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter. And the thing I like about Miami is you never know where it's going to come from because they solidly play as a team. So Duncan Robinson couldn't hit a shot, couldn't put up a shot. You know what I'm saying? He was all in there unplayable in the first game, and then he just starts cooking, and I think he was cooking Jamal Murray.
Yo, he was cooking everything in front of him, bro. He was running off screens. Anytime he got to the top of that keep, where it was like, who in front of me? You can get it. You can get it.
Yeah, they started taking his 3-shot away. So he started driving, and then he does what any smart player do. Okay, you're going to protect the paint. Hand down, man down. You know what I'm saying? And that was a dagger. That bomb was nasty.
Yo,
it was nasty.
He made.
Oh yeah. So he came down, and that's what won the game for Miami. To be honest, all he had to do was maintain at that point for the rest of the quarter, and he put them up 10. He went on the 8-0 run by himself. He ended up finishing with 10. And then Jimmy allowed them to finish. Jimmy came through, and he hit some clutch buckets and allowed them to end the game. His defense on Jamal Murray, which people aren't talking about. That play, people are talking about. Oh well,
they blaming Michael Porter Jr. They're not talking about Jimmy.
Well, no, I know some people are talking about what's the coach?
Mike Malone.
Malone should have called a timeout. But I like him not calling the timeout because it's a scramble. You know what I'm saying? You trust your players.
You don't want to let Miami set up too.
You don't want to let Miami set up. So I understood. It was Jimmy's defense on Jamal Murray because he knocked the ball loose. That made him rush his shot because I'm confident based off the last 2 plays where Jamal Murray went on a flurry. If he hadn't have done that, Jamal probably would have hit that shot. Yeah, and we would have had an overtime game.
He laced, and then the other one, it was off an offensive rebound because Jokic decided, I don't need to score. I'm just going to get every rebound that come off of this rim.
Right.
Y'all coming right back out. And two of them times, it went straight to Murray. One of them was KCP, I think. And when 2 of them was Murray. And that third one, like you said, if Jimmy don't pick him up, where he did and give him, a little scare, when he goes to rise up for that one, that's curtains, folks.
Like, he ended up rushing the shot because the time was going down and the ball was loose. So he had to make a quick move, and he wasn't settled. I think if he had been settled, he probably would have busted that shot down. And that probably would have been an overtime game. Who knows how that would have went? Because nobody was stopping anybody. At that point in the game, nobody was stopping anybody. There was no stops. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, everybody was just trading buckets.
Shots. That's the only reason why
it got close.
Because Jamal was hitting those threes, and they was up 10 at that point. Jamal hits 2 threes, they down 4, and then Jimmy misses a couple. I think Caleb missed a couple. Then Caleb hit a big 3.
Yeah,
that put him up, I think 4 or something like that. But when the numbers start, and then Jamal hits the one that puts them down 1, and then Jimmy goes in on makes.
Jimmy hit a 2. And then now they're up 3. And that was
And then we get to the last play. Like you said, that defense.
I gotta give a lot. I gotta give a lot of shout out. Despite my pick, it's not often that you see the superstars take on the big load, and that's what's special about Miami. I've been hard on Bam. I've been hard on Bam.
Bam out of the fire.
Yeah, and he has been everything that I said he wasn't. He has been consistent. He has been a force. He has done marvelous in this game, and the numbers show it. He's doing his job as far as containing Jokic, not letting him get too much. He's staying out of foul trouble. He's scoring. He's doing the same thing Jokic doing. You know
That's
what I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying, and that was my only point when you were questioning like whether he could like deal with that. I'm like, well, Bam got a little bit of that on his own. It's just a matter of we haven't like because I rightfully so. I wouldn't expect you to believe Bam could do that because that's what we've been waiting on this whole playoffs. It's been the Jimmy show and
Yeah.
Caleb times. Well, Caleb most times in the last series, and then Struz. It's been a collective effort for the most part, but the other superstar who's supposed to have been, Jimmy's right hand man wasn't really superstarring every single game. And these first two games, he showed up, and they fell short, I think, because of shooting in the first game.
The first game, they just weren't hitting shots.
They weren't hitting shots, and that's why Mike Malone said about
and that's the thing, and I want to address that with the shooting. They didn't make any adjustments to that, and Denver fell apart.
Yeah,
and they had the same shots in this game, and Miami hit them. And that's so, so Mike ended up going off, I guess, after the game, they said, and 3 players didn't even show up for media because they got ripped. He probably ripped them to shreds, in their locker room after the game, and told them
it was KCP, Michael Porter Jr., and
Aaron Gordon.
Okay, Aaron. Okay.
They all left. They all left after the game, and they didn't speak to media. And my homeboy put it up. He was like, Denver looks defeated. He was like, they look like they just lost the finals.
They called them.
Yeah, they got ripped apart because the same thing, they played the same type of game that they played last game, and they lost because Miami hit these shots that you gave them. You know what I'm saying? And, shout out to Spo with Kevin Love in the game that allowed Jimmy to stick Jamal Murray, which is why Jamal Murray really didn't get off really until the end of the game.
Right. And that was a lot of I know Jimmy had him in the last possession, but that was a lot of Gabe Vincent coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that allowed them to contain most of the players, which took away from Jokic's triple-double. Right. And I guess he's never won a game when he hit a 40-point game or something like that, when he scored 40 points or something like that. They don't win. They need that triple-double. You know what I'm saying? So it's like and it's not that, because Spo chimed back at the whole, it wasn't about making everybody else beat us. It was,
Phil Jackson type liar.
Yeah, it wasn't about he was a special player. Whatever. You made everybody else beat you. And they tired Jokic out.
Who you fooling here?
Yeah, that's exactly what you shut down everybody else. That's what you did.
Let's just call it spade.
Yeah, because you forced them to play hero ball.
For you to just lie about it because you don't want them to feel like that's what you thinking. We know what you thinking, my guy, and he know it too. And he making adjustments, bro. So just you can cut off that pipe dream because the reason why he went off on those dudes the way he did because it was their fault. The open threes was happening. They wasn't going all the way through on none of those. Like you know how they might have they running through when they running through to get open. MPJ and KCP they not fulfilling their defensive obligations.
Yeah. And or if they did, they was doing too much. And grabbing and holding and tackling and all this crazy jump. Yeah. It was crazy. The stuff that they were doing, I was like, he got mad at the 3-point shot. Kyle Lowry was like at the hash mark.
How much
and he shot that ball. And you dived all the way at that man. You dived all the way to that man and was under his feet before he even landed. You know what I'm saying? And you got mad at the call. Like, what you mad for? Like, you did it.
Yeah, that was
but anyway. So,
while he was guarding KD and LeBron.
Say that again?
How much did Aaron Gordon get away with when he was guarding Kevin Durant and LeBron?
Oh yeah, because they felt like he should be. You know what I'm saying? It's that superstar thing. You should be able to handle.
Now Aaron Gordon is 6'8", 250 dude. Now he the small one, and it ain't the same. Now they not letting go some of those physical calls that they was letting go before, because Aaron don't look as small as he used to no more against these dudes.
Yeah, so it's working out. Definitely working out for their favor. That's pretty much the X and O's. The top guys took the hard and they was able to work with it. They got away with one. They can go home, rest in good altitude, uh, get their breath back, get their wind back, and because they need to be prepared just in case. Now, I think Miami will win the next game. Right. Based off what I know, based off what I'm seeing about these three role players, I don't think they're going to play good in game 3. They look defeated, and they're away. Role players don't really play well away, but Denver is a good team. But
shout out Aaron Gordon, good dog.
Yeah. So, but I still think if you play the same type of game, you got a good chance of winning game 3. Now, game 4, I think it might be split. I think Denver will win game 4. But if they don't,
that's what leads me to the next part where I was going to talk about. You hit pretty much all the X's and O's, all of the adjustments or lack thereof in game 2. So I want to go ahead and pivot towards scenarios, possible scenarios. If Miami wins, they go up 2-1. You know, ESPN loves to put out their percentages. I don't care about your percentages.
They've been wrong for the past 3 years.
I'm cool on y'all percentages.
But Nuggets stay a point favorite in every game. They're going to be favored in every game. So that junk, all that they're talking about is stupid.
My thing is, do you need to get the split? Is there more pressure on Denver if they win 2 to go up 3-1? Or is it more pressure on them if they lose game 2? You have to tie this up. Do you feel like a team down 3-1 with home court in the last 3 games could still come back for 3-1? Like, if Denver these 2 in Miami, because as you said, they need their role players, right? Their role players might not play as well on the road. So if they don't get these 2 games,
the series is over. The series is over. They're going to finish. Yeah. If they lose these 2, it might be over in 5.
So they gonna go out in Denver. Miami gonna win another one in Denver.
They could because they will be more confident. They be like, we already beat them. You know what I'm saying?
I said Miami is 6, but boy,
I think they can. Now, will they? This is one of them percentages thing. Right. It's a very low percentage that they'll go back to Denver and win another one.
As good as Denver is, we can talk about how good they are and how good they've been all year.
They've never been in this spot.
They've never been battle tested. That's exactly where I'm just coming from. You hit it right on the head. They've never been in this spot.
They haven't lost at home.
They know
this is the first time. So they're used to winning 2 straight.
They know.
They've never been tied up. So they've always had at least a 2-1, something like they've always been ahead. Now they're not.
When Miami lost to Dallas and then they played the Thunder. Kevin, Russell, James, Serge, they didn't know what they was walking into in the NBA Finals. LeBron and them was just like,
they were on a mission. We're on a mission.
Embarrassed. We got beat. We just got to this place. And that's what I feel when I look at Gabe, when I look at Jimmy. They don't care about nothing but getting 3 more wins because they know they remember the memes of Jimmy Butler exhausted on the side because he just had nothing left and nobody could give him anything. So they giving all they got. They go out to scrape Miami off of this damn floor by the end of it because they not gonna die.
And this is the thing. And this is also the thing. Jimmy hasn't had a Jimmy Buckets game yet. So
game 3, game 4, I'm calling one of them 2. He is gonna Jimmy Bucket his ass off. I tell you that.
He's going to have the game pretty soon. So the pressure is on Denver. Yeah. They've never been in this spot. They have to win one in Miami.
Home game in this playoffs, have they?
Huh?
Have they lost a home game in this playoffs?
This is their first one. They haven't lost at home since March.
I didn't even watch sports talk or anything. I saw a clip on YouTube.
I did. Go ahead.
All I see is MPJ this, Michael Porter Jr. that, and I'm like, y'all really about to throw this young dude under the bus for the next 2 days because y'all ain't got
that's what they do. That's what they do, and they spin these narratives and stuff like that.
Some former players come talk X's and O's. Stop this bull crap. Don't taint this finals with your bullshit narratives.
Yeah, it's not anybody's fault. It's not his fault. Now he made some poor decisions, but it's not his fault they lost the game.
He's young. You propel a young person's situation. That don't mean he's gonna follow through the way you want him to.
Right. You can't blame the game on a singular person. His adjustments was just a lot. And
how
then
yank him if he ain't good? Put Christian in.
Right, because he is good. He just missed the shots. And that's because they weren't in rhythm because of what Miami did. Miami played good defense on them boys, so he had to force up shots that weren't really, he tried to get what he could, and he just couldn't do it. They were out of rhythm because Jokic wasn't distributing the ball. Jokic had to score to keep them in the game. So, like, I saw the interview with Kyle Lowry. They didn't even know he had 40 points.
Oh, Jokic? Yeah, they weren't worried about that.
They didn't even know. He was like, they was interviewing Kyle Lowry. He was like, we did what we could, we did, the best thing. We followed the game plan. It was like, Jokic had like 41 points. He said, he had what? He was like, oh my God, I didn't even know. They didn't even know because that was so locked in to just doing what they needed to do.
Yeah, it's a game plan.
Yeah. They were locked in.
Game plan to get 3 more wins. That's the game plan.
Yeah. And he was like, well, we won despite him getting 40. So he wasn't distributing the ball, which hurt them because they couldn't get in rhythm.
And that's okay for us. I mean, I understand why. I was just teasing when I was talking about Coach Spo lying. I understand exactly why you lie because you don't want anybody to think anything. So, but for us, it's obvious. One man can't win a basketball game. Kevin's tried. Everyone's tried. LeBron's tried. Michael's tried. Michael couldn't do it without Scottie. LeBron couldn't do it without his teammates. KD couldn't do it without Steph. And the list goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic ain't gonna beat this team on his own. And Miami's just pretty much like, we gonna make all your role players demoralized. We gonna make them hate being here. This is gonna be a long series for those boys. Because Miami, they not even focused on the big dude. Jokic getting whatever he want. They guarded him with a guard for like the last.
Because they were switching everything. It got to the point
and
where
they just didn't care. They didn't care.
They didn't care. It was like, I got him. It is what it is. Like, I got him. You get them. Get them.
Yo, what's up? If you seeing me right now, that means you are dead smack in the middle of a two-part podcast. Double trouble. In the second part of this podcast, you're going to see Heat fan Rand come in and put his stamp on Game 2's victory and his prediction for the series going forward, as well as me and Papa Joe. I appreciate y'all joining us for part 1. Part 2 is on the way.